Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today, we're exploring professional identity, what it is, why it matters, and how it's shaped throughout our interpreting journey. I'll be grounding this in interpreting history, research, and a little bit of my own action research. So let's get started. What is professional identity? Professional identity is basically the story we tell ourselves about who we are as interpreters. Research describes it as a professional self-concept made up of our beliefs, values, motives, and experiences, and it directly shapes our emotions, decision-making, confidence, and work satisfaction. It also influences how we see our purpose and how we contribute to society. But why does any of this matter? Because professional identity isn't just a title, it's our sense of stability, belonging, and direction in the profession. Research shows that strong identity is tied to moral decision making, well being, and career success. And for interpreters specifically, our identity affects how we show up in the moments of tension, ethics, uncertainty, power dynamics, and feedback. Our profession has gone through several identity eras. The helper model, where interpreters saw themselves as saviors, the machine model, where we were just neutral conduits, to the ally model, where interpreter-centered deaf empowerment. And now I believe we are moving into the era of reflective practitioner. Knowing these models matters because they shaped how interpreters saw themselves, and they still influence expectations today. Before we go deeper, let's check in with where you see yourself today. On the Padlet, write one sentence describing your current interpreter identity. There's no right or wrong, just your truth in this moment. One of the biggest shifts in identity happens when we leave school and enter the field. The research is clear. This transition period is one of the most vulnerable times in a professional's development. My action research mirrors this, and it's a time where feedback, confidence, community, mentorship, and identity uncertainty all hit at once. Chin and colleagues found three major components that shape professional identity: reflection, mentorship and role modeling, and real world experience paired with feedback. Identity grows when we face challenges with guidance and shrinks when we feel unsupported. Identity isn't just who we are, it's also where we are and who we're with. Clark and colleagues says identity is fluid and constantly being reinterpreted. Our identity is shaped by our internal beliefs, the environments we're in, the teams we work with, the community we serve, and the culture and history that we inherit. My action research shows a direct connection between identity insecurity and imposter feelings. Anything that challenges our self-concept, especially feedback, can activate imposter syndrome. Imposter feelings aren't signs of incompetence, they're signs that our identity is still forming. In my data, feedback was the strongest influence on identity, more than skills, settings, or errors. Evaluative feedback triggered self-doubt and shame. Non-evaluative feedback increased confidence and clarity. Feedback is inherently not neutral, and it shapes who we believe we are. Another theme that emerged was horizontal violence, often subtle and unintentional, but deeply harmful. This can include dismissive comments, public corrections, we don't do that here, or tone that communicates exclusion. These moments undermine identity and contribute to imposter syndrome. Naming it helps us stop normalizing it. Together, let's map how feedback has shaped identity. Think of one piece of feedback you've received that changed something in you, whether it be good or bad. Add it to the collaborative board so we can see the patterns. Research emphasizes that reflection can't be optional. It must be intentionally built into our growth. Reflection strengthens identity because it integrates experience, emotion, and meaning. Without reflection, experience doesn't transform us, they just accumulate. This is where DCS comes in. My action research found that supervision is one of the most powerful identity building tools. DCS shifts feedback from evaluative to reflective. It reduces imposter feelings, increases self efficacy, and transforms difficult experiences into learning, not shame. We do not develop identity alone. Interpreters grow through community, through learning from deaf leaders, colleagues, teams, mentors, and the people we serve. Identity is relational, not individual. Mentorship is consistently shown to be one of the strongest forms of identity development. Chin and colleagues call it an untapped teaching strategy. Mentorship strengthens identity through role modeling, trust, shared values, guided challenge, and honest feedback. In Williams 2020, the research found that teaming has a huge impact on identity. Working with supportive teams increases confidence. Working with dismissive or unapproachable teams increases self-doubt. Identity grows best in partnerships built on trust and mutual respect. Research reminds us that every interpreter's experiences, whether it be struggle, triumph, confusion, loneliness, and connection, these aren't signs of doing it wrong, they're just signs of becoming. Take a moment and think about one experience, good or bad, that shaped your identity. What did it teach you? What changed in how you see yourself as a professional? Professional identity is not a destination, it's a lifelong process. It is shaped by history, experiences, community, feedback, mentorship, reflection, and grace. Your identity is allowed to grow, to stretch, and evolve. To close, let's map your identity journey. Think of where you started, where you are now, and where you're headed. This isn't about perfection, it's about recognizing your growth. Thank you for leaning into reflection, vulnerability, and growth. Your identity is unfolding, and that's exactly how it should be.